Hey everyone, this is Steven Strong at Cast Iron Cookware, where you can find information to help you better collect, restore, and use cast iron cookware. Today we're going to be doing a product review on Grill Armor gloves, and we're going to be doing that coming right up. If you have been working with cast iron or doing any cooking or barbecuing, somewhere along the line you have been burned or handled something that was just a little bit too hot for you to handle. Now, I have had a lot of experience with regular oven mitts. Now, this is a brand new pair. I've used them just a few times, and they're already starting to deteriorate. And if you've seen any of my videos in the past, you'll probably notice some of my oven mitts really look bad because I burn them all the time. Because when you're dealing with cast iron, you're dealing with degrees above 400 degrees, sometimes 500. And that will just really burn through some thick cloth. And I have also been burned by steam because my mittens have gotten wet, and I grabbed a piece of hot cast iron and it steamed through the glove, and it really made me want to set it down quick. So we're going to be talking about Grill Armor. Now, Grill Armor have two types of gloves. They have these gloves right here, which are cloth. Of course, they have this kind of rubbery lines all over it to help with the grip. And we also have these Grill Armor liquid resistant gloves here as well. Both of these are rated to temperatures up to 932 degrees. Now, if you're cooking in cast iron, chances are the hottest you're going to be getting is going to be 500, so you're going to be safe with that. So in a nutshell, these gloves right here, the cloth gloves, now they have an internal cloth that is it's pretty thick. They're insulated with a material called M-Aramid and P-Aramid. Basically the same thing as Kevlar and Nomex, and they are very heat resistant. Even though these are cloth, they're not going to catch on fire if you get them over an open flame. And they fit really well. Now, I have large hands. Now, my fingers are not that long, but I have large hands. So most of the time, I cannot get gloves to fit. Now, they also make a lady size, which is a little bit smaller. And these here are left or right hand gloves. So there's not a left or a right. They have the logo on the front and the back, or back and the front, depending on how you look at it. And what I like about them is the dexterity part. Now, that is king. Now, when you're dealing with an oven mitt, you only have, let's pull this thing off and show you. You only have, my fingers are moving inside, but you see, they're not able to really, this is cool. And another thing I really like is, I like cooking cornbread, and I like cooking cornbread in my Birmingham stove and range 7-stick cornstick pans. And whenever I'm dumping them out, when I have oven mitts, I have a hard time getting a hold to these little bitty handles with a pair of oven mitts. And they're usually about 400 or 500 degrees whenever I dump them out. So I'm really having issues with oven mitts, dropping them, and I have a glass cooktop, and I've dropped these quite a few times and haven't cracked it yet, thankfully. But I like these right here. I'm telling you, they're non-slip. That little rubberized non-slip little lines all over these are absolutely awesome. You're not going to be doing this at all with oven mitts. So I can get in there really quickly. I have dexterity. I can grab these pieces. I can pop them out. I can move them around and not worry about dropping them, which before, with the regular oven mitts like these right here, lots of problems. On top of that, with the regular oven mitts, after a while I'll burn holes in them. I'll burn holes in them, and they're almost useless. And I'll burn holes in one side, then I'll start using them on the other hand, And then I start burning holes on the other side, and then I start getting burned because the iron starts finding that hole. And then I just resort to picking up pieces like this with the whole thing, using it as a pot holder. So back to our grill armor gloves. And they go on really nice. Now the first time I put them on, it was a little harder, but after I put them on a few times, man, they've loosened up a little bit and they are very comfortable. And if you're just working around the house, changing a light bulb would be a great use for these. Also, cooking on the grill. If you're doing Dutch oven cooking outside and you're dealing with coals, or you're, camping and you're building a fire, a lot of times you throw a piece of wood on and it doesn't land where you want to and you want to adjust it. These are great for adjusting that. And on top of that, these are machine washable. Now you don't want to wash with your white clothes because I got a feeling some of the color may fade out. So wash them with light colored clothes, but they are machine washable and they are very, very comfortable. Baked potatoes are hot to deal with, and they're really hard to deal with oven mitt because you can't get a hold of them. And what I do, I'll reach my hand in there and I'll give it a little bit of a squeeze. And if it's hard and won't collapse at all, then it's not ready. But if I reach in there and I give it a little bit of a squeeze and I feel it collapse a little bit, they're ready. And just being able to reach in there and put my hand around the potato and give it a little light squeeze is nice, and I can feel it in my hand. It's not just the fact that I have dexterity, but I have response, and I like the response that I get. Okay, here is one of my potatoes. The external temperature is around 400 degrees. Now I'm standing here holding this thing and it's not an issue at all. Now even when you give it a squeeze, like I was telling you, to reach in there and kind of give it a squeeze and you feel a little bit of collapse when you know it's ready, it doesn't give you a problem. Now if you sit there and you keep a good hard grip on it, the temperature will work into your gloves a little more in through the insulation, but it's not an issue. I'm not having any issues at all. Now, when you go to unwrap these, I unwrapped one earlier and I didn't have my gloves on, and I unwrapped it really quickly and really messily because it was really hot. I thought, I need to do the rest of these with the grill armor gloves. So here I am, hot potato, not an issue. Okay, we want to take a minute and talk about the liquid resistant grill armor gloves. And they look just like thick rubber gloves, but just like the grill armor cloth gloves, they are rated for temperatures up to 932 degrees. And they have a, looks like a little thinner lining. Now, if you spring a leak in these or you poke a hole in them, just say if you're cutting up onions or something and you put a hole in them, they're not going to be water resistant. They're going to spring a leak. But these, just like the other gloves, now you have dexterity, you have a little more length to cover up on your arms. The first time I put them on, they was a little stiffer, but after I put them on a few times, they kind of softened up, and they're really easy to put on now. But I will tell you this, when you take these off, you want to start them a little bit so you don't pull the liner inside out. Now, if you pull the liner inside out, you're going to have a lot of fun getting all the fingers back down inside. I mean, it can be done, but just a little tip there. I have a Dutch oven with some corn in it, and let me pull the camera down, and you can see the steam coming out of it. And I would say this water here is somewhere around 180 degrees at the moment. So here I go. Definitely you'll make sure that you haven't got holes in it, but not an issue at all. I can feel a little bit of warmth, but it doesn't feel hot. But I can tell you, and you can tell by the smoke, we're at about 180 degrees. And here I am, holding this corn on the cob, and I'm kind of squeezing it a little bit. When you squeeze it, you actually pull the outside closer to your fingers, and you can feel the warmth coming through, but it's not hot. So at 200 degrees or 180 degrees or even boiling water temperature, not an issue whatsoever. So let's try something from an old Palmolive commercial. We'll try some soaking in it. So I got it down in this water, and I can feel warmth coming through to the inside. Now if I was to ball up a fist, my hand would get hot. Now it's still not unbearable. It's starting to get really warm. Now just because they're heat resistant does not mean they're heat proof. There is a little bit of heat coming through. Now it's starting to feel like I'm washing my hands in really hot water, but still not hurting. Now I'm starting to get where it's a little bit uncomfortable. I mean, you can see the steam. You can see the steam coming off of my hand. Not an issue at all. You can still see the smoke coming off. Now I feel some warmth in there, but I'm not burning. I'm not uncomfortable. Now I was about to get uncomfortable. Now one thing I do notice, after the glove gets hot, it's a little harder to get off. So first of all, we're going to take and make sure we pull the liner with the glove tip so we can get our hand out without pulling the liner out. So now we're ready to go back in without having to redo the liner. Now this one right here being cold, this one right here not being hot, I can just grab all 4 fingers and pop it right out. But while it's hot, for some reason, your hand wants to stick a little bit more to the liner. But if you were dealing with barbecue sauce or something that may, be gummy or gunky on here, you can actually go and wash these off. You don't want to get water on the inside. You can wash them with soapy water. Just rinse them off really good and you're good to go again. So I kind of want to give a little bit of a recap on Grill Armor gloves. The fit is really good. The dexterity is awesome, having all your fingers working individually. Way better than mittens. The fact that they will handle temperatures up to 932 degrees is great. And they do make a smaller lady size in the cloth version. Now I believe there's only one size in the liquid resistant version. The cloth gloves come in at $25.95. The liquid resistant gloves come in at about $29.95 a pair, which is really good for a tool that's going to save you from getting burned. Now I've been burned plenty of times dealing with cast iron, and I really had a desire for these gloves here, so I actually contacted Grill Armor and said, hey, I'm really interested in your gloves. I would like to do a product review. And they said, sure, we'd be glad to send you a couple of pairs. So I want to say thank you to Grill Armor for sending these to me. And yeah, I can tell you this, if Grill Armor had not have sent these to me, I would buy them anyway, just because they are exactly what I need. So these are absolutely perfect for me. So I highly endorse them as a great product. I will leave a link in the video description how to purchase these on Amazon, and I will also leave a link to Grill Armor gloves so you can learn more about them if you'd like to check out their webpage as well. I just want to say I hope that you've enjoyed this video and found it to be useful. And if you have, please do not forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, that way you won't miss out on new videos when they come out. You can also follow Cast Iron Cookware on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Check out the Cast Iron Cookware Facebook group. It's an awesome group full of people who love cast iron and love to connect and talk about cast iron. If you would like to receive emails from Cast Iron Cookware, I usually send out an email every week or so, kind of letting you know what's going on with Cast Iron Cookware, inside information that you don't really get out of the videos. I will leave a link to that and all of these other sites in the video description. So check out the video description. There's information there that you might find useful as well. I just want to say that I appreciate you so much and thank you again for watching Cast Iron Cookware.